How's it going, everyone? Doogie Manhammer here with a real quick, little discussion video. Over this past weekend, I know I haven't been uploading a lot and doing anything because I've been a little bit busy, and you'll see why in the next day or so. Another thing I was able to do was play the closed beta test for the digital version of the Dragon Ball Super card game, which you see right here on your screen. I unfortunately don't have any gameplay of this because, for one, I saw this on the website whenever I was first, inquiring about it and doing my submission for it, because it was a closed beta, so only select people were able to play it, which I was lucky enough to do so. Thank you, Bandai, for randomly choosing me. But right here, I know it's grayed out now because it's over with, so they just grayed out what was not necessary, but in principle, capturing, recording, or streaming of this game footage is prohibited, and if any leaks, we may have them deleted. If we have determined that someone violated the terms of use, we'll terminate their participation privileges. So I did not record anything because I did not want to get struck down in any sort of way or have my footage be deleted, because that would be demoralizing. However, I do know some YouTube channels and other influencers who have, always uploaded Dragon Ball or uploaded a lot of Dragon Ball in general, as well as the card game itself, who have reached out to Bandai and asked if they could, showcase any of this, and they have, and probably didn't ask otherwise because they work with Bandai a lot sometimes with other promotional stuff. But if you are interested in seeing gameplay, please check out the Super Playas, because they do a lot of, card battles. They do actual, talks about the digital cards, of pack openings, actual cards. This video right here actually showcases gameplay, so definitely check it out, as well as C-React's channel with You Need to Play this Dragon Ball Super card game, or game in general, and Nanogenics. I played the new Dragon Ball Super game. They have good gameplay segments, so you can check it out. I will be, looking at their videos solely for the purpose of, showing you what all of these, different icons mean, what it does, if you have played the card game, if you haven't, and just so you could see what you could expect from the card game and my thoughts on it overall. So without further ado, let me dive into it. So let me pull up the trailer for this game. Let me see if they showcase it in that way, because I don't want to just show other people's videos on here. It's already 1080p, that's good. Just keep it 1080p, that's great. But my thoughts on the card game, I was only able to play for a couple hours and a handful of matches and the tutorial. But my thoughts on it overall is that it is very, very solid. It's got a good base, and I am excited to, play some more of it. There were some kinks, some of the loading, some of the textures were a little bit weird and off sometimes. But overall, it was super duper solid in terms of the gameplay, the looks, all that stuff. Some of it is a little bit... Yeah, I can pause it right here. Oh, no. Get out of here. Let me go away so I can look at the thing. It's not going to let me. That's dumb. Anyways, so this is what the screen will look like. Obviously, you won't have all these cards in the middle, and you might not have as much cards in your hand. But this is the general playing field. You'll be able to see your life up here, your leader card, which is obviously your avatar character. These will be the only characters that are visible, will be your leader card, and that's perfectly fine. It, would be messy if all the characters popped up. But you'll get to see your field, their field, and all the stuff down here, which I'll probably be able to show off better on the other people's videos. But yeah, it was a good time. All of the rules and all of the skills you could do have been simplified, so it will show you what you're able to do, what you're not able to do, and what can activate and what can't activate. So for example, there is this Vegeta down here that my mouse is hovering over. Normally it's a 3-cost Vegeta, and its permanent ability is if you have, I believe it's 2 or more blue energy in your life, and they have to be blue energy in your life, in your energy area, then you can reduce the cost of this card by 1. So instead of a 3-drop, it's now a 2-drop. And you can see, since this person that's playing has already accomplished that, it is in its hand lowered by 2 to resemble the fact, hey, this permanent ability has gone off. It is now showing you that it's done. So I like that it is automatically showing you and doing stuff that you would otherwise have to, think about and look at, through your drop area or through your energy to make sure you've done it. So it's good to know that that kind of stuff is already being done for you, as well as if you clicked, for example, that Vegeta card again, if you wanted to play it, it will automatically select the energy that you want, so all you don't have to individually select each energy to play it, it'll automatically do it for you, unless you want, like if you run a multicolored deck, or if you play with the Vegito deck, which is any Vegeta or Goku can be red, blue, or green energy. You can specifically select which ones you want to use for that energy requirement. So then if you have a red card that isn't a Goku or Vegeta that has to be played with red energy, you can deselect the automatic ones so you don't use up that red energy, which is nice. But yeah, this beta honestly surpassed my expectations. I thought it was going to be horrible load times. I thought it was going to be very buggy and like weird textures and weird, just stuff going on, but it actually was a lot more polished than I felt like it should have been, personally. There were some text issues, like cards didn't have everything spelled out correctly, or some weird, just like grammatical errors in some instances. But all in all, like I thought it went great. There were some times as well, sorry, I'll keep this playing so it's not just a static screen. But there were some times, like for example, the counterpart to that 2-cost Vegeta I was showing off is a 3-cost Goku that says when you play this card, look at the top, I believe it's like 7 cards of your deck, and play a Vegeta in rest mode that's a 3-cost or less. Yeah, this Goku right here. And that's showing off on the side right there too. Let me see. Can it be clearer? No, it's not. But that Goku, you have to look through your deck. And I wasn't aware that you had to scroll through the cards. So for example, like I said, you have to find a Vegeta in rest mode, or with this Vegito that's right next to it, powers combined. You pay the energy cost and you get to search for a 1 or 2 cost Goku and Vegeta and put it in rest mode on the field by looking through your deck or drop area. And it immediately shows your drop area because that's the first place you'd usually want to think of in some instances. But you have to scroll to be able to see your deck and other cards. And I wasn't aware of that sometimes because the scroll wheel is very small, as well as blending in with like the stage in the background, so I didn't know that is what had to happen. So I misclicked, thinking it was showing me all that I could use automatically, when in case I could actually have gone further and looked for more cards. So just be wary of those kinds of facts. You might miss little UI elements that show you where you can go and how much you can do, but you might miss it. Obviously, all of this stuff can be changed and different in the actual, official release, which we have no idea when that is yet. This is just, like I said, a closed beta. They'll probably take all the feedback into consideration. It'll probably take until the end of the year for it to release, if I had to guess. It was also PC only, which I hope isn't the case when the official release happens. I hope it goes to mobile as well, just for the convenience sake of it. But I will for sure be covering it regardless of where it goes if I'm able to. Another thing I want to talk about is how we see here. This is the deck builder, and it shows your leader that you're able to pick. For the beta, all they had available was the green Broly, yellow Frieza, red Vegito, blue Vegeta, and the blue Zamasu. They also had this Goku as well, but it wasn't like a pre-made deck. They did have those 5 leaders that I listed as pre-made decks already for you, so you could just jump right into battle. But you did have the option to make your own deck with a very limited amount of cards, mostly set 1 and 2 cards, as well as other cards sprinkled in, like this Vegito that I mentioned. This is like a set 6 card, I believe, from Destroyer Kings. I think that's right. And then these 2 Goku and Vegeta cards, they were EX cards, as well as this Future Trunks, or the Light of Hope Trunks. These were all EX cards, meaning they were not a part of sets and they were a part of expansions, which is why they're called EX cards. There are also promotional cards, like this Zamasu is a PR card from the like the special pack sets where you get like 4 cards, and this came as like a bonus box topper kind of card, as well as this Vegito down here. He was a tournament promo pack card. So it was very random what cards they decided to bring or not bring to the beta. Probably just whatever to help the already pre-made decks that were already in there to make them pretty solid. But yeah, I hope they are able to do a slow start for this game. Start with set 1 and then slowly bring our way back up to how it is, nowadays with like, what are we, like set 20 now, if we're talking like also, just not straight sets and like bonus sets and stuff like that. So it's got a long way to go to catch up, but I do hope we start from 1 to at most maybe 3, and then just do like every other month, just like bring out 2 new sets or something like that, so we can slowly catch up, slowly adjust to the metas, slowly adjust to all the new keywords and everything like that. But yeah, otherwise, I thought this beta was super duper solid. I thought it was a great blueprint, like I said, for how to have this game. Make some slight adjustments with the UI to make it more obvious on what you're able to do. Adjust some of the ways to visualize and see the deck or the drop area when you're selecting cards to make it easier on us to notice that we can or can't select certain things. But all in all, it did a really great job of showcasing what the future of Dragon Ball Super Online could look like. Like I said, I was going to bring up Nano's video because it shows me here all of the UI elements. Let me see, can I just go full screen? No, it's not going to let me, so I'll just go half screen. So obviously this would be Nano's character on the left side, or player character on the left side, and then the computer or opponent on this side. The top elements are all of the opponent's stuff, so like their energy right here, how many cards they have in their hand, as well as how many cards are left in their deck, how many cards are, I don't know what that's hand. This is warp, I assume, because there wasn't any warp cards, I believe, in the beta, but I believe this is for the warp, and this is your drop area, or graveyard in Yu-Gi-Oh terms, and this is like the banish area in Yu-Gi-Oh terms. Right now, Nano's doing his charge phase, which means he can put cards into his energy area. Player energy area is down here on the bottom left, cards in the bottom middle, and then the same elements that were up here are on the bottom right. So your graveyard, your... God, I can't even think of it now. Your warp, cards in hand, and cards in deck still. Over here is the button that his face is over. I can go to C-Rex's video to see it. This button over here indicates when you can switch phases, and this little notation down here shows you what phase you're already on. So you pass the charge phase, he's on his main phase, so he can play cards, he can do whatever. You have to click on your leader character to be able to activate any sort of effects from the leader. So if you want to use the skill, you'll hover over here and it'll say like skill or attack or awaken. If you can awaken, it'll say flip instead. You can be able to see like all of the stuff up here. If you click on a card, it'll show you a little outline, and you can click on it and it'll show you what it says. Down here as well, I believe, is something akin to that. If you go over to a card and hover over it and right click, it'll be able to show you a description of the card, so you don't have to squint down and read stuff or have the actual card pulled up on a different tab or anything like that. But yeah, you also have like a little player character ID card. Nothing special, you couldn't customize it, but I'm sure in the full release you'd be able to customize it and do whatever. Japanese voice acting is in this, which is great. I'm glad to see the voice acting. It makes it a little bit more, fun, makes it more lively. But yeah, they did an absolute great job. I know I said this a couple times already, I'm just re-rounding points, but they really have really outdone themselves with this beta, and I can't wait for the full release. Hopefully they do another beta just to work out any kinks. Hopefully it'll be open beta next time so they can really test out and go through the servers. There won't be any issues with the full release, hopefully, and hopefully it comes sooner than later. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you, I know I didn't really show you a lot because I don't have any gameplay, but I hope I was able to describe it as well as I possibly can if you're interested in the game. And let me know if you are. Let me know if you were able to play in the beta, what you thought of it, and if you weren't able to play, if me talking about it and showing you what things were like, if that, interests you and shows you what this game could look like and how it could be. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya.